Hi, Mrs. Smith. My name is Nikki, and I'm your student nurse aide today. I'm here to dress you. How's that for today? Is this a good time? All right. Well, thank you. I'm going to grab my supplies, but first I'm going to wash my hands right here, just simulating hand wash. And then I'm going to make sure my wheels are locked on both sides. All right. My curtain is closed for privacy. And let's just make sure, let's see where your call light's at. Okay, we've got it here, and for now, we're just going to leave it right next to you because I'm going to have to move you. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is let's go gather some clothes and see which one you'd like to wear. Okay, I've got a couple of shirts. Which one? I've got the green plaid and the red plaid. Oh, you like the red one? Okay, great. All right, great choice. I'm just going to put that right there. And I would gather, would you like the black or the blue pants? Okay, the blue ones? Okay, great. All right, so I'm just going to grab you some socks here. All right, and leave that right there. Next, I'm going to take your gown off. Okay, so on the skills, it will have a weak and strong side. So this will be the involved, or what we call weak side. So we would want to take the gown off of the strong side and then put on the items on the weak side. So since this is the involved side or the weak side, I will come on this side and take the gown off starting from over here. If the patient is too far from you, go ahead and move them over by the shoulders, and then by the hips, and then by the legs. All right, so now we're just going to take this gown off. Okay, I untied the gown, and we're going to make sure that we don't expose the chest here, so, or other parts of the body that we don't have to. Okay, so I took that off the strong arm first. And now I'm going to take off the involved or weak side. Now it's more appropriate to say involved side. Now I'm pulling this down, and if you see what I'm doing underneath, I just pulled this down and I'm rolling this away from me. Prevent cross-contamination. And I'll just put it right there in my dirty. I have that right next to me. I have my trash next to me. And now I'm going to put on the shirt. And still, you're at a safe level, and also you're not too close to the edge. So this is the involved side, so I'm going to put that on first. So I'm just going to put my hand through the arm here, and always undo your snaps here at your arms. That way, because fingers are very sensitive, bones are very brittle, and you don't want to break fingers. There we go. So I'm just kind of grasping the hand, and I'm pulling this through. Be mindful not to pull it up over the elbow, not to tear skin. Now I'm going all the way up, all the way up. Alright, so the only thing I got to do now is I'm just going to turn you. So I'm going to bring your arm over, 1, 2, 3, hips and shoulders. I'm going to turn, and I'm going to bring this back. I'm going to give it some leverage up towards the top, so I can always pull it down later because I need this around the other side. So I'm going to bring her down, 1, 2, 3. Alrighty. And then hopefully I've got it enough of it underneath that we have enough to put the arm through. All right, Mrs. Smith, this is the arm that is not affected, so therefore she can move it different ways. So we're going to bring this up and bring her arm through. There we go. And again, being mindful about this elbow. As you can see, if you just pull this down and not mindful about bringing that seam over the elbow, then you can rip it. All right, So now we're going to just gather this and put this together. Okay, Mrs. Smith, let's get this down. And what I'm going to do is bring this down some so we can button you up. Let's make you look all nice. Let's fold your collar here, just lifting up your neck here. Making sure you're all buttoned up. I love this shirt. It's like a Western shirt, huh? All right, your daughter gave it to you? Good. All right, let's get this down. And you want to make sure the person's dressed the way you want to be dressed. Would you step out of the house without your buttons correctly buttoned or not decent? So, and that goes for jewelry, rings, watches, whatever, makeup, whatever they want to put on. They shouldn't have to go without the things that they've been using for years just because we don't want to do it or don't have time. Okay, so you want to button that all the way down. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to put the pants on. So we're just going to kind of cover them up still here. And what I like to do is put my socks on first. And so I'm just going to start with the same weak side or involved side. And I like to stretch the socks up at the top. So I stretch them here and I make sure the heel is on the heel. So we're going to stretch and pull down. And just make sure they're not too tight around the ankle. Make sure the heel is on the heel. And everything's straight. Alright, next thing we're going to do is the pants. So here we go. Got pants. And you don't shake anything because if you shake stuff, there could be something called fomites. And those are just particles that bacteria could travel on, and such as dust. So bacteria can travel on dust and travel on other items. Alright, so now that we got that there, we're going to pull them up. Up, up, up. We're going to pull them up. You're saying, why are you pulling them up so high? It's because we've got to turn them over. So if we're going to turn them over, we want to make sure that that we have them, all the way up. And I'll show you why. Okay, so I'm going to expose this person. So I'm going to show you. So if we had them pulled all the way down there, we had to pull them up in the hips, then they would be laying on them. But if we have them up here and we have to pull them, we have more leverage. You see that? So I'm going to go ahead and turn them my way so you can see what I'm doing. And on 3, I'm going to have him hug himself. Can you please give yourself a nice little hug? Get your extremities, your arms out the way. Turn you, 1, 2, 3, and I'm exposed so you guys can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to pull this shirt down, make sure that it's all nice and tucked and flat, and I'm going to pull his pants up. Now this is for the Prometric state exam, and no, they would not have a brief on at this time. This is just this dressing skill. So we want to make sure that the middle part of the seam is in between the buttocks, okay, and there's no wrinkles, and no wrinkles on the shirt, and no wrinkles on the bed. Okay, we're going to lay you back down on 3. 1, 2, 3. There you go. All right, now we can pull these pants down, and we can check to see what we have here. Make sure it's nice. Oh, he's nice and straight. And button up the rest of his buttons. Alright, let's cover it. Would you like your cover back on? Okay, so you're going to lay in the bed for a minute? No problem. So let's just put this to the shoulder. Whenever you put a sheet on, make sure if you're going to tuck it at the bottom, then you need to give them a toe pleat, so they have to have wiggle room for their feet. Okay. A lot of times if I want to make a sheet straight, I'll just kind of go towards the bottom of the bed, and I'll come down here and I'll make sure that it's straight that way, and then it's easier to come up here and get it straight. A lot of times I just leave it over the bed to give them that wiggle room, or I just fan fold it down. All right, well, let's get you in the middle of the bed a little bit. Shoulders and the hips and the legs. Now you're in the middle. Well, here is your call light. And since this is the weak arm and this is the strong one, I am going to put the call light on this hand. There you go. Okay, well, I'm going to wash my hands. Your bed is still low and locked in a safe position. Would you like your curtains open or closed? You like them open? Okay, I'll go ahead and open. How about your door before I leave? You want that open too? Bedside table? Okay, let's get that next to you. Sure, I'll put your cell phone on there. So you want to make sure they have all their personal items, and you don't want it this high they can't reach it. So you need to bring it down to where they can reach their items. All right, the last thing I want you to do is there will be a laminated card on your table that has your skills on there. And so therefore I would want you, before you say you're done with your skill, look at that laminated card and make sure that you covered all your bases. Wash your hands again. You can't wash your hands too many times, and then you say my skill is complete.